Hi Chewies, here's Alexandra again. In my last video I showed you the unboxing of the ruins of Osgiliath, the Lord of the Rings terrain, and today I want to paint it. So, as you see, I have built up one of the pieces here, this little staircase, because that's the smallest part that still fits under my camera. And, well, for painting purposes, well, let's have a look at the box. The ruins of Osgiliath itself are in a very pale, bleached bone color. And if you want to paint this is actually quite super easy. The needed colors are on the box itself. So I would suggest you prime it in white, then paint it in graveyard earth, followed by a bleached bone dry brush, and then you make a 50-50 mix out of bleached bone and skull white for a final dry brush, and then you have the look on the box cover here. But I will now paint this this ruins here in a sandstone look. And for this I will go for a little bit different approach. I will prime this piece now in a desert yellow from Army Painter, the Army Painter spray primer desert yellow. So I'll be back when this is primed and dry. Okie dokie chewies, that's the look how the terrain piece looks after the desert yellow primer. And now we are going to create ourselves a wash out of 3 colors. So we use Rhinox hide a little bit, then we use Mournfang brown, and we will use a wash Seraphim sepia. So wash out the brush properly, then take amount of that. And also we use water, some drops. So I think that's enough. Mix it well together, and then you get a nice brownish shade. So, and that stuff we will now increase the level of watering down it for our first layer. So take a little bit from that on another palette and add even more water to it. So, and with that shade we will go now over the entire thing. Yes, outside there are cars. Yes, I have my window open. Sorry for that. Okay, this needs then some time to dry now. After it is dried, we go on with a second layer. You can speed up the drying process with a hairdryer, or with a heat lamp, but with heat lamps you have to be careful. Well, this is a thick plastic, that doesn't matter so much, but if you are using a heat lamp for fragile plastic or fine cast miniatures or other resin miniatures, then be careful, because you will probably melt down the plastic and the miniatures will deform, and that looks kind of ugly. You don't want to have that. So, okay, I let that then dry, and I'll be back for you in a second. Okie dokie tubies, so that is the look after the initial light wash is dry. As you can see, the watering down has made it very subtle, and now we will make our first dry brush with a 50-50 mix out of Arvalate Sunset and white. So, take a little bit on the palette. Taking white. Oops. Yeah, it's a nice sandstone color. Then you take a paper towel, clean up the brush, but there's still something left on the brush, and with that we go slightly over the surface. And if you're wondering what size of brush this is a size 8 flat brush. So, reloading the brush. Okay, with the first coat we are almost done. Yeah, that looks nice. So now we will add a little bit more white to the color. Just like that. And again, wiping off color on the brush. Here you see the difference between the two colors. And another dry brush, but we don't go all the way down, because with the lower parts we will do something different then. Make the dry brush always a little bit lighter, and keep keep a little bit of the other color behind, so you get a little bit of a blending. Okay, you see, and with this little bit of dry brushing effort, all the texture of the wall is coming out quite nicely. So, and you remember that we still have on the palette our first initial wash. It is now a little bit concentrated because it has dried for some time, and I guess that's the perfect time now to use it. Properly wash out the brush now. So now we take again this wash, and we will darken down the lower parts even more. So then you wash out the brush, and with a wet brush you will drag this wash a little bit upwards. See? Just like that. So you get a little bit of a transition between the darker and the brighter color on top. Again, we do that on the other side. Go along with the wash. Just like that. All the cracks and crevices. Then wash out the brush, and with a wet brush we will fade upward. See? Really nice. Okay. Last time here on the inside a little bit. Let's go here through the stairs again. And wash the brush and drag upwards. Maybe there. You can play with it a little bit to work with shadows and dirt stains and all that kind of stuff. So, our goal is to make this piece look interesting. That's our main goal. So, we will let that dry now, and I'll be back when this is done. Okay, tubies, now we are at a stage to make some finishing touches on this, and for that we use green pigments. It doesn't matter which brand you take. This here are pigments from Noch, but you could also use pigments from Vallejo or from Forge World, doesn't matter. So you take some on your palette, then you take a stippling brush or an old dry brush, something like that. And with that, we will now add some greenish texture down here to simulate moss. Just stipple it on. Just like that. Also a little bit on the inside here. And voila, the whole piece is done. Well, we could fade this now a little bit, so let's take an old brush with a little bit of water. With that we will now fade the edge a little bit. Just with a wet brush. What you could do also is take some of the pigments and place them maybe here underneath, here and there. Don't overdo it, just some strains here and there where maybe water had caused a little bit of moss to grow. Okay, and that's it. That is some real nice sandstone and weathered look. And if you have that on the battlefield, then your opponents will think, oh, that's a really nice battlefield. Yeah, I hope you liked this tutorial, and we see us in the next video. You're Alexandra.